be seen anymore, is it?
Okay, so I've got an embed link here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I will paste this into the chat.
There's this interesting thing that Dungeons and or Wizards announced today about Dungeons and Dragons that I might be able to talk about a bit.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't see too much. Is it all going to be encounters based?
I got an email about it, so
Oh, sweet.
We'll talk about it for a minute because we really don't have that much else. So
Yeah, and unfortunately, All Things Fun doesn't look like they're doing encounters this season.
oh, they're not.
No, it's not on their calendar.
Maybe they didn't have anybody to do it.
Yeah, that's right. Their best DM left.
the gaping hole that you left in their system.
That sucks because I've approached Wizards a couple of times. Like, I'd like to write about encounters. Can you guys send out like the adventure or whatever? And they're like, no, you got to do it through a store. I'm like, but I want to like write about it to get people interested in it.
Yeah, to go out and do it.
I am cutting out a ride into the mountains regardless.
That sounds like you were just having a rough day.
You specifically hate the new Doctor, Adam?
No, people. There's a lot of hate out there for the new Doctor from mainly the fan girls.
Are you guys going to talk about it? Because I have no idea. I haven't kept up. I knew there was a new Doctor, but I don't know who it is. So
yeah,
maybe
we'll talk about
you can
it
introduce it to me.
Sure.
Tell me why I should care about your fucking show.
Because it's awesome.
You shouldn't. But if you want me to like lose my mind about entitled people on the internet, I certainly will.
I do want this. Yes, I do want that to happen.
Oh my god, I was fucking. Oh
no, save it. Save that rage.
Yes.
Bottled up. Put it tight.
God, I was
put
so
it down
angry.
tight, deep in your gut, and then just release it in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You guys are recording, right? Just in case something extra good spills out.
I am recording. Should we go?
All right, I'm recording now.
I've been recording for like 12 minutes.
Google has all of our shit, so I don't feel, All right, I'm recording audio.
All right. Worst case scenario, we might be able to get a backup from the NSA.
Indeed. You might need a court order. They'll ignore it.
Freedom of Information Act. My own information.
Did you guys see that thing about the parallel construction?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that phrase is delicious. It's so amazing. Parallel construction.
On what? What are we talking about?
I'll explain it to you later. It's essentially super wiretapping.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Adam, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's all fine. It's all fine.
They found a way. Yeah, they found a way to take entrapment and make it way better.
The government has taken their response to everything now is sort of like Han Solo in the first Star Wars when he responds from like the prison cell. We're all fine down here.
You're fine.
How are you?
It's a boring conversation anyway.
He was fine right up until the end. Right up until how are you?
Hey, you know what, Dan? You're hosting tonight, right?
Sure.
If you do feel like bringing it up, I actually do have from a buddy of mine who was kind of laughing about this thing on a different mail list. I actually do have a little succinct thing about parallel construction if you really want to go to it.
Yeah, well, we'll joke about it. And
it's just one paragraph, and it's like it was on Slashdot, which is a site I haven't been to in ages. But
oh my god, yeah. I was there like a week ago, and it like loaded, and it looked exactly the same as it always did, and I thought, wow. It's like kind of looking into the Wayback Machine, kind of. I mean, not to the Ain't It Cool News extent or anything, but.
There was a brief period where I was a rock star on Slashdot for like about a year. I always got +5 posts. That's
a fucking novelty T-shirt if I ever saw that. You need to wear that on a shirt at PAX.
I'm huge on Slashdot.
No. For a short amount of time in the early 2000s, I was kind of a big deal on Slashdot.
That's kind of a big deal on Slashdot. But that time is over.
We moved on. What am
I doing with my life?
Yeah, I'm on NeoGAF now.
That's right.
Oh, no.
All right.
Meets all my needs.
All right, we ready?
Yes, we are.
This is episode 102. That sounds so stupid to say.
God damn it.
Look, we really are winging it. There's nothing in the show notes for order or nothing. This is awesome. Bring it.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
We're going commando.
Yeah. All right. We ready? Everybody rolling?
Yeah, you want to count?
Yeah, let's do a count.
Okay.
And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, hello and welcome everybody to episode 102 of Perpetual Geek Machine, the podcast, the Sundering, the Awakening.
The game, the movie, the game, the movie, the podcast.
Yeah, actually this is like, we'll call it Volume 2, Episode 2, or yeah, so we're in the second 100 groups of episodes. I'm a little sick and stuffed up, but I'm not going to let that stop me from talking about stupid shit on the internet for an hour.
No, indeed.
So I may have to look. I move away from the mic when I sneeze. I learned that from Tay-Zonday.
That's called broadcasting.
That's how you know I'm a professional.
Production value. That's right.
Yeah.
You don't sound as bad as you maybe think you do. You sound pretty good to me, actually.
I actually sounded much worse this morning.
The Google compression happens to occur in the dynamic range of
above
cold.
Sniveling nerd.
Yeah.
They do the filter for the for the head cold nerd.
It will not detect an infra sneeze or an ultra cough, so you're good that way.
All right. Yeah, I actually do feel much better today, but I've been like holed up since like Thursday, and honestly, there is nothing worse than being sick over the weekend. I get 48 fucking hours of not being at work, and then you spend it sick, and it's like, well, that's a fucking waste.
Well, at least you didn't have to use up any sick time.
That's not a good
trade-off.
I don't know. I'm so low in my sick time that I've left that that's actually a consideration now.
Oh, well, there you go.
2 days in, I use one, so that's my own fault.
I see it's January. My sick days have rolled over. I really need to start using those again.
It is.
All right. Well, I don't really know what we're going to talk about tonight because we're all a little bit light on our on the stuff that we've been doing that's of interest to anybody. But I have a feeling there's a couple of side conversations that might be of interest to the internet at large, or maybe the 10 people that download this,
or the government,
exactly. There's actually every day it's like something new. I can't wait 20 years from now to read the book about Snowden. I'm sorry. Like, I cannot fucking wait. Like, he's got an insurance policy that is like the juiciest news story ever, and it's keeping him alive right now. Like, I really want to know what that... I gotta find out what that is.
I love the fact that you can viably make a dead man switch out of a BitTorrent file at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is something brilliant about that. A friend of mine and I were talking about it today at work, and I was like, the guy is now escaped to Russia, which somehow Russia became like the beacon of freedom for this poor guy.
Yeah.
Every day you got to worry that somebody's going to like kick in the door with like a huge black bag, but he has some BitTorrent file like stored somewhere that is just sitting there waiting to like go off.
I think it's several somewheres. That's the weirdest thing about files is that you can. That's like saying I've distributed all my super important documents in 100 different safes and I've sent them out worldwide.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, somebody's going to crack it. It's like, no, they're not.
This is like the. It's interesting because technologically speaking, like it was weird to be able to track that guy as he was moving around. Like now he's in Hong Kong. Now we think he's in the air. Like
there was a lot of false flags. They thought he was in like Uruguay, and
but
no, he's not. He never left Russia.
In a very weird way, the Earth got very small. They were like, this one guy cannot hide on planet Earth. But for all the for all the bad that does him, it also helps him in the fact of disseminating his own information to basically keep him alive at this point. And there's some crazy shit going on.
Yeah,
it'd be awesome if it turns out that this was all like a reality show and he's not really a spy or anything.
The Snowden show.
It's the greatest ARG of all time. This is I Love Bees too. We're gonna find out that Snowden really is just like announcing the new Halo game at some point.
Oh yeah, it's Half-Life 3.
That's it.
Oh my God,
we figured it out.
His real name is Freeman. Crap.
Oh my God. He's gonna just show up in like a file photo with like a crowbar in the back, and we're all gonna be like, I knew it.
That's right. And the crowbar's got a whistle built into it.
All right. Well, that's. I guess that's is that the political discourse for this week? Do we have anything else we want to talk about?
We probably shouldn't go too far into that. Yeah.
People are up in arms about. Apparently, there was an Amber Alert set in California last night, and that's part of like the new like cell phone updates where it like pushes directly to your phone.
That is crazy. That blew my mind when I don't know if it was you guys who told me about it or what, but like it just lights up everyone's cell phone no matter what setting it is. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
like 2 or 3 weeks ago, my wife and I got one. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it is the loudest alert. Like it's not the regular like iPhone alert. Like it sounds like an air horn, and it was like a flood warning.
And it ignores do not disturb, right?
Yes,
it ignores
absolutely.
all settings. That's incredible.
And we both like shot up in bed and we're like, "What the fuck is going on?
We are being bombed!"
Like it really does. Like it is the worst sounding alert. We're like, it really does drive right to the bottom of your soul. Like something is very wrong here. Like we're on a submarine and it is sinking.
You just look at your phone and it just says "Hellmouth imminent."
Yeah, but no, I looked at my phone
okay.
I looked at my phone and it said flood warning, and I'm like, the fuck?
Like, the third floor. How is it going to get to me?
Are you kidding me? And the downside of this is like for us, the first thing I did was figure out how to turn those off, and it was like government alerts and Amber alerts, and like you couldn't silence them and still let them come to the phone. It was either on or off, so I just turned them off, and I thought, like how fucking ridiculous is that? I would not have a problem getting an Amber alert pushed to my phone, but I don't want it to come at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm sleeping if I have like do not disturb on. Like
I thought that's what I thought was crazy is that there are carrier level overrides for all that stuff. I made it obvious, but there's nothing like that in Canada.
No, well apparently it's all very new here. It was like July 1st. It was a software update that was pushed. So it's actually just starting to like infringe. And the Amber alerts that's a bit of a different issue, I suppose. Like if it was my kid, like they say every minute counts, especially when it first happens. So like, sure. I don't know if I would give a shit that people got woken up in the middle of the night for like an Amber alert. It was more aggravating when it was like the flood alert that we got, because I don't even live in a floodplain, for fuck's sake.
No.
But I think with the
Amber alert.
What's that?
What was the range on the Amber alert?
It was in California, and apparently anybody that was like tied into like the metropolitan area of I want to say it was like Los Angeles, but some people were getting it like 100 miles away.
Well, see, that's a problem. But
no, I understand. Trust me.
The phone was registered there, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Or it was just.
Can't they tell by cell tower where you are?
I don't know if it gets that granular. I mean, apparently the Amber Alert department doesn't have the information that the NSA has. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I mean,
agency communications.
But the people in California were freaking out because the alert. I guess here's the rub of it. The alert is so annoying and so loud, and you can't change it, that it's just making everybody turn it off, which does the absolute opposite of what they do. So they need to give you a little bit of control over how you get those alerts, or everybody's just going to turn them off, and that's going to be the end of it.
Yeah.
Like I just turned them off.
People are at funerals. People are living their lives. Like, you can't just blast that stuff out. I mean, unless you really are targeting a region and the thing you're sending is this entire region is about to catch fire in the next 5 minutes.
So apparently there's like 3 things. There's the Amber Alerts. There's the whatever the National Weather Service one is, but I want to say it's under government alerts.
NOAA.
And those you can actually turn off. And apparently there's another one called like Presidential Alert, which is not even in the list of notifications to turn off, where I don't think you can do anything about that. But that's probably literally for the purview of somebody just flew a plane into the Twin Towers type of like a bomb went off here. Like you know what I mean? Like truly detrimental stuff.
What if somebody hacked that and you got like an Amber Alert full blast type notification through your phone from President Obama, and it just said in all caps, "Get down."
Yeah, run.
Run. Run, zombies, run now.
To American public from B. Obama, fly you fools. But yeah, I mean, like, and it seems like the first thing that happened today when I was reading this story earlier is the same thing that happened to my wife and I when it happened, when we got the alert at 4 o'clock in the morning a couple weeks ago, is we just turned them off. So now it does the absolute opposite of what the intention was, is to alert people about these potentially problematic, situations. But
it's the Amber Alert that cried wolf.
Yeah, well, apparently it actually was an Amber Alert. It's just that when people are sleeping, they're sleeping. Like, what am I supposed to do? An Amber Alert goes off at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm 100 miles away. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, the little girl's not in my bedroom.
So you say...
Well, did you check?
Good point. Maybe hanging out under the bed with the boogeyman.
So I'm really hoping that one of these next updates is going to let me change the alert to something I want, or turn it down, or tell it not to bother me and just send a text, between certain hours or something, anything to give me some sort of control over it.
Or how about put it on Twitter and we can all check it like we check all other breaking news at this point.
Yeah, that is true. I guess like I said, something with an Amber Alert is a bit of a it's a sketchy area, because every minute does in fact count, but at the same time it's 4 o'clock in the morning. You can't invade people's lives that much, or they're just going to react and disable those notifications.
They never before considered, like, say, robocalling everyone in a state.
Yeah.
Even when it was hard lines, no cell phones, none of that, like, that was not on the table.
Yeah, and there's like, the emergency broadcast system, but that means I'm watching TV already.
Right.
Yeah, but
it doesn't wake me up. It doesn't turn the TV on and then wake me up.
Yeah. Yeah, and back in the day, everyone, if you were awake, you usually had the TV or the radio on. So, but now there's so much internet entertainment going that they're just going to miss with that. So.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about something important. Can we talk about British television?
Yeah.
we need to get to a much more important topic.
That's way more entertaining than this.
Yeah, it really is. So they announced a new Doctor.
This happened Sunday, right?
Sunday on a BBC special.
All right, lay it on me. Who is it?
Adam.
Peter Capaldi.
Capaldi, yeah.
Yes,
Peter
he's
Capaldi.
Scottish, even though he totally sounds Italian with that last name.
All right.
He's been in a whole bunch of shows on the BBC recently, apparently where he curses a lot. I don't know the names of any of them because everyone says go check out Hulu, and of course I don't have a Hulu account, so I'm in the dark ages with just plain old Netflix.
He was in a punk band with Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he kind of looks like Craig Ferguson's brother.
Apparently they're friends. So he's older. He's like in his mid-50s. So which goes against the grain of them going younger and younger, which was a nice change of pace.
No, I could have guessed that. I knew they weren't going to do any of the other stuff about, like, I actually don't agree with all the people who are like, where's the black doctor? It's like, it's a British show. Get over it.
Yeah,
and I don't care, but
they totally,
that is what it is.
They totally can do it, but to do that just to do that is not the right reason to do that.
Right, like next time.
Look how well it worked with Star Trek captains.
Yeah.
By the way, Janeway got really fat, and she's got a Russian accent, and she's awesome in Orange is the New Black.
I've heard good things about that show.
It's funny, yeah, and I was kind of hesitant after Weeds, because Weeds did a lot of things that I really didn't like, but it did a lot of things I did like. So I was like, this is another female-led show, and there's a lot of similarities. But, man, it's really good. Like, I put that on a quick, what I've been doing list. I watched the first 4 or 5 of those, and I like it. And also, can I just say, that show has saved the careers of middle-aged female actresses because there is nowhere for those people to go. And that's all that show is.
Huh. What's it about?
That's all it is. It's essentially like a waspy white female self-surrenders herself to jail for something that she basically was named in an affidavit or a previous court case from a previous connected relationship. So she's like, all right, well, they say I got to go to jail. And then when she shows up, everyone's really surprised. She's like, all right, you go over there.
So the orange jumpsuit is like the new black evening dress? Is that the title? Okay.
What's weird about that is that they wear beige.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
They don't wear orange. So
it's
that's either really dumb or really funny, depending on how you look at it.
Beige isn't the new anything, so.
Yeah, you can't. That title doesn't make any sense. But it was based on a real book by one such woman who essentially had to do about a year and a half in prison for this old thing, and what it was like to just switch gears and self-surrender and be able to have a party before you go in because you know when it's coming because you're putting yourself there, just stuff like that.
Jeez.
White privilege is awesome.
I'm a big fan of what Netflix is trying to do with their original programming. They've been about like 50-50 so far. Like, you don't really, a lot of, like, some of them aren't good, but the ones that are good, and I can't be mad at them for bringing Arrested Development back. But I mean, obviously, what was the
Kevin Spacey?
House of Cards?
Yeah, House of Cards is really, really good, and that'll come back. And they are completely taking HBO on right in the face.
Yeah. I still need to watch House of Cards, but they announced the Doctor, which was again like some Brit actor that I don't know, but that's totally fine because that's
BBC-ish.
It's par for the course. It's not I think people forget that a lot. Like, it's not an American show. Like, we're watching, because I know like a lot of people make fun of like he can go anywhere in time and space, but it always tends to be present day Britain. Like, it's a British television show, you jackass. Yeah. Like, think about the American shows you've watched that could take place anywhere, but it always happens in New York or Los Angeles.
I will say I want Doctor Who to have the "it's not an S" type moment where he just goes, look, I was sent there originally as a Gallifreyan on Exile, the last one, and I just kind of liked it. So that's why everything's like this. That's why the TARDIS doesn't look like an ATM.
Well, no, they actually did address that. The TARDIS still looks like a police.
Oh, it's broken. Yeah, I didn't like that one as much.
It's broken. Actually, I thought that was hilarious.
I want it to be a conscious choice. He's like, look, I was
okay.
the first place I ever went after I left Gallifrey. This is my own like headcanon type stuff.
Yeah.
I'd be like, the first place he was sent after he left Gallifrey was Britain, 1960.
60,
you know?
Yeah, 63, 64.
Go with somewhere in the middle there, and
Yeah.
He's like, I just liked it. It's just where I set up my wardrobe and everything else. There was a scarf at one point. There was a fez at one point. Whatever. I like the ship. I don't feel like fucking with it. I would accept that, you know?
That is kind of the way it is, because he did travel for a while before he came to Earth, and he does like it, and that is why he keeps coming back.
The third Doctor, I believe, was exiled on Earth and didn't travel anywhere.
Yeah, he was stuck. He couldn't get in the
Something
TARDIS.
like that.
I think he was exiled on a stage.
He did a lot of weird 70s kung fu because everybody did kung fu in the 70s, even the British television shows.
Yeah.
See, that should have been, obviously, we all know, as highlighted on our business cards, Victorian cane fighting. That's what he should be good at.
Nice.
So,
but this new actor is actually more well known than a lot of the other new ones that come out, because usually it's a more unknown actor. And this guy's, well, mainly because he's been around for a lot longer. But I actually like it, having seen all the Doctors Revisited that BBC's been showing for the last several months leading up to the 50th anniversary, because a lot of the first Doctors were older.
He sure looks like a doctor, man. When you see him,
he definitely does have that. He definitely does have that look.
Except that one goatee picture. There he looks like the evil Doctor.
This is like the first changeover that I've had as I've currently been watching, because up until now.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
To new Matt Smith. So
there's been a clue here all along. I just realized. This is blowing my mind. Okay, so if you go to this guy's IMDb page.
Oh yeah.
2013 listing. WHO Doctor. Come on, in World War Z. He's in World War Z.
Yeah.
They knew months ago.
Who Doctor?
He was also in an episode of Doctor Who already.
Yeah.
Well,
it's beside the point. I don't know if they're going to try to work that in or not.
I think I've been in an episode of Doctor Who at this point.
The pool of British actors is not as deep as you might imagine.
He's been in 5 episodes of Torchwood.
So
yeah, see, that's the other thing. A lot of the diehard fans are PO'd about the fact that he was already in the Doctor Who episode, and he played a pretty big role supposedly in the Torchwood series.
Yeah, but I believe the answer to that is a doctor did it.
Yeah. Thank God we invented the whatever device. Like that's really one of the things I like about the show, is that they just don't get bogged down in worrying about that stuff.
Oh, they sure don't.
No. But I'm actually okay with that, because it's time travel, and if you really try to explain it, none of it makes sense. So
the only people who got away with that is Futurama. Sorry, Adam, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
And the other thing I was pleased about to see is that women can be as scumbaggy as men. Because I've seen a lot of hate online for the fangirls who don't like the new Doctor simply because of his looks. Oh. Like he's not a young, stylish, cool-looking Brit. He's an older, more distinguished gentleman. So they're all angry that they're not getting another Matt Smith or Dave Tennant.
You know who I think it should have been? The Royal Baby.
Nice. I think
that's Doctor Who, and the whole season is people raising the Doctor, and he doesn't have any lines. He has no object permanence. He's just been reincarnated or regenerated into like a 9-month-old this time, and guess what?
They never go anywhere. He's just laying up on the TARDIS control.
Come on, that is a brilliant spinoff, Baby Time Lord. It's like
good.
Muppet Babies, but with Time Lords.
I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I don't know anything about him, and I'm content not to know anything about him. I didn't really read that much into it. I would have liked to have been surprised on the show when it happened. Personally, I would have liked to have been surprised on the show when Matt Smith left. Yeah. No, I don't. See, I don't believe that. That's not.
Nobody. Well, you have to cut yourself off from the internet. Somebody. No,
but there's been a lot of things where we've constantly decided together that we're not going to spoil it for other people. Like, nobody talked about the specifics of the Red Wedding, even for like a week or two afterwards. We all kept the Sixth Sense to ourselves. Every time we watch one of these movies with these spoilers in it, we kind of go, well, you kind of have to watch it for yourself.
But that's plot, not actors. That never gets hidden. It doesn't.
No, I understand. I mean, it would have been nice. You know what I mean? But then, the BBC makes a special about it because they want the publicity of doing it. I get that they don't want it to be a spoiler. It would just be nice if I had the option, but I realize that I don't. So my buy-in was just like, well, whoever it is, it doesn't really bother me because it's kind of been spoiled for me already. No. I'd like to not know going in when it was happening. So
that's like trying to hide. Like, this is the BBC's version of the Pope. You know, people are camped outside looking for the smoke signal.
No, I get it. I mean, trust me, I do understand. But like, you know, with a lot of other realms, like if I was completely excited about Ender's Game, like the movie coming out, like I could choose not to watch the spoilers, and really for the most part, I could probably go into it relatively spoiler free.
True.
Even though the studio wants me to watch those trailers and see that stuff, right? So they're putting it out there because they don't want it to be a spoiler. They want it out there. But I could still avoid it. And for the most part, if I said that, people wouldn't be going out of their way to say, well, it was in the trailer, so we can all talk about it. Like, you're just going to have to suck it up. Like, there's still like a general nerd consensus of, that's cool, man, like, you know, whatever. We'll talk about it on our blog post, but we won't put anything specific like on Twitter, you know, or something like that. Like, we do always hold back a bit. I mean,
there is a code. I agree.
Even like for The Last of Us, like we did a special podcast because we didn't want to even slip it into a regular show. Like, we didn't even want to take the chance of like, hey, and now we're going to talk about spoilers of The Last of Us, so tune out now. We wouldn't even do that.
By the way, can I just insert like maybe what might be it's not even a spoiler because it didn't happen, but did you see that Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog, this is just a sidebar, but it's really interesting, he posted an image of an alternate ending they considered for The Last of Us.
I have not seen that yet. No, you have to send it to me.
Can I tell you what it is? This will just be like, it'll be 10 seconds. I just have to say it, 10 seconds. Somebody can hit the 15-second skip button, I'll be that fast. I promise.
Well, because Kevin's going to edit this, and he's going to play the game still.
But it's not a spoiler. It's not in the game.
All right. Yep. But then he knows what doesn't happen.
No, he doesn't. This won't spoil it. This won't spoil. Well, that's true.
See? There's a code. See, the fact that we even have.
I don't care that much.
The fact that we're even having the conversation says that there's a little bit of a code there, but it seemed like there was like multiple people on Twitter on Sunday saying, and just so you know, before you start saying spoilers, they want us to know, so there. Like that, I don't, like, still.
No.
Like, can we not...
Only if you're paying attention. And, like, I actually successfully did this for The Last of Us and Bioshock Infinite. I saw the first trailer, and I was like, thank you, I'm good.
I'm in.
And I just didn't read anything else. It's not that hard. Like,
no,
people flip out about spoilers. I'm like, stop fucking reading it, idiot.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Like, but like, you know, like in this particular case, and like, granted, I'm not upset about it because I decided very early on that it was going to be impossible for me to avoid it. So, but like, you know, like unless I wanted to unfollow, like, you know, like 300 people on Twitter and comb everything for months, like there was just no way because everybody was talking so openly about it.
Right.
There wasn't like a, hey, if I go searching for, you know, conversations about the Red Wedding and then somebody in the comments says something, like I can't get upset. But when the BBC's like official Twitter feed says, welcome our new doctor, Peter Cipraldi,
on
or
the
whatever,
front
like
page.
Like you can't avoid that unless I just wanted to get off Twitter. News. And it's just not that important to me. It's just like it was one of those things where like it would have been nice. What really drove me crazy on Twitter, and that this actually has been happening a lot lately, and I think I need to take account of how I feel about all shit online, and I'm going to go off on the rails for a second.
Buckle in.
The entitlement of people in general is beginning to drive me up the fucking wall.
Yeah.
Especially on the internet. I mean, I try not to buy into this myself, and I know sometimes I've done it because it's so easy.
You know, it's a natural extension of the fact that people now expect to be able to utterly, and I do mean utterly, filter everything that comes to them. And you're like, oh, you sent me a discordant note. I had to read something in the slightest bit unpleasing to me. Yeah. I am now going to shit myself with anger and just completely just blurg all over whatever the closest social network I can find is.
But this is like, I mean, so specifically with the Doctor Who thing, what I noticed right away was like, within an hour of it being announced, and a lot of people were excited about Twitter, and they were like about it, and they were linking each other, like, you know, YouTube videos of the guy acting, and like, you know, whether they liked it or didn't like it or whatever. And then the tweets started coming in of like people going, I don't care about this. Can we please stop talking about this and get back to something else? And like, it fucking dawned on me that like, not having an opinion about something isn't an opinion. Like you saying you don't care about something isn't adding to the conversation. It's just poison. Like it doesn't.
It really does.
Yeah. So like you could say I like him as an actor. I don't like him as an actor. I'm excited about this. I'm not excited about this. And if it's something you don't care about, just keep your fucking mouth shut and let other people talk about it. Like people can be enthusiastic about things that have nothing to do with you outside of you joining that conversation.
It's like you interrupting someone else's dinner conversation at another table at the restaurant and being like, "Can you guys talk about something interesting?"
Oh, by the way, I don't
here?
give two fucks about what you're talking about, so please die. Is usually like the response on Twitter these days of like, "I hope you get cancer and die."
Well,
but I was like,
kick it up a notch.
I was thinking about this a lot. It was like people are enthusiastic about it, and somebody just has to come along and let them know that they really shouldn't be that enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
It ain't hurting them. It's not hurting you. Like, if you don't want to read about Doctor Who on Twitter, then just avoid Twitter for like an hour or two, or just don't read those tweets. Nobody's forcing you. Like, nobody's turning on a megaphone in your house and making you listen to a conversation about a TV show that you don't want to listen to. Yeah, granted, if you're listening to this podcast and you don't care about Doctor Who, you are being forced to listen to it. But
sorry, fast forward.
I'm not sorry, actually. I mean, like, we talk about a little bit of everything, but like, I guess like my takeaway from this thing was, people have conversations about things all the time that I really don't care about. I might be interested in them because my friends are interested, or like a good example would be Kevin, like with homebrewing. Like, I don't drink beer. I don't like beer.
No.
I don't really care at the end of the day how beer gets made, but Kevin cares about homebrewing a lot. So when he talks,
other people do.
A lot of other people care about home brewing, and Kevin really cares about it. So when he talks to me about it, or he's talking to other people about it, if we're in like a group of people and he's talking to somebody about like some IPA, whatever, triple hopped, whatever the fuck it is, like like I don't stick my nose in and say, guys, I just want to reiterate here at this point, like I don't care about what you're talking about. Like, I don't have an opinion, but I just want to let you know I don't care.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Like, that's such a dick move.
Yeah.
Like, if people are talking about shit on Twitter that you don't care about, saying you don't have an opinion about it is not an opinion. You are not adding to the conversation.
I agree. And you know what else is I would maybe tack on to the end of that is that apathy is a completely valid position. But apathy means you literally don't care to do the stupid shit you just said. You don't need to vent the fact that you don't care. All you need to do is shut up or move.
Well, I mean, like, it's Twitter, right? Like, you can choose to join a different conversation.
Join the tweet bot.
you can mute it, or you can just follow a different conversation. Like, so here's my thing
or you can scroll past it using the thumb gesture you use 1 billion times a day.
They're just the new trolls, that's all.
No, I know, but
they
like,
look at whatever's trending and go and bitch about it.
I know, but if you said I don't like this actor because of this, or I do like this actor because of that, that's an opinion.
Yeah.
To say you have no opinion is not an opinion.
Right.
It's the opposite of an opinion. It's just noise. It's just static. Like,
it's like when you ask people what music they like, and they're like, "Oh, I like everything." Like, really, everything?
Yeah.
You like didgeridoo. You like Motown. You like.
Who doesn't like didgeridoo?
It's just a lazy answer.
I'm with
like, you. It's
been bugging me more and more, and this does chain off of like the Phil Fish Fez stuff. Which, real quick, if you don't know, Phil Fish is a video game designer. Some would say tortured video game designer.
He's the guy from. Say it the way people know. He's that bearded dude from Montreal in Indie Game the movie.
But guess what? Like a lot of people that made really incredible art over the past 100 years are incredibly tortured people.
Yes.
Like, can you fucking imagine what, like, not that I'm comparing the two, but can you fucking imagine if, like, Van Gogh was on Twitter having people constantly yell at him about his bullshit paintings? Like,
you know what? I'm completely okay with, I know, like, this is the weird thing I've noticed. I think this is what maybe I'm preempting you on, but, like, people are like, I can't just like their art. I need to like the person. And I'm like, I am completely okay with the artistic output of assholes. I'm very okay with it. I realize that these people are borderline, if they are any good. They're the Genius Madness line, that vague gray stripe, like, they're going to be volatile if they're worth a damn. And also, I don't think you're doing anything right if you don't make some people mad. I see comedians like Chris Hardwick and those guys constantly just, like, they're so worried about what people think about them. Like, nobody, don't give a fuck. You're doing great.
So this is, I mean, honestly, this is like a super endemic problem. I really should, like, boil this down into, like, a rant of some point. But the fallout from the Phil Fish thing was, for whatever reason, people have just enjoyed attacking him regardless. Fez was a great fucking game. Don't get me wrong, he puts his foot in his mouth a lot, but a lot of people have over the years, and like even like bands from like the fucking 60s and 70s. Like, I cannot imagine the lack of artistic output we would have if like people like Roger Waters were getting screamed at on Twitter after like something like Animals came out. No, you know what I mean? Like, you'd never have the wall because we would have told him to get cancer and die enough that he would have just quit making music, and that is totally fucked up. Like, seriously, think about it.
No, you're totally right. You were totally right. As far as I'm concerned, Phil Fish hit a special intersection intersection of nerves.
Yeah.
You know what he did? He made an artistic platformer, and then he told all Japanese games that they were bad in some quoted thing. It's like I don't. That's not. I don't care. Like it's just so.
But it wasn't even really what he said, and I don't think that's what people like. I think people just decided that this was the guy they were going to like make fun of for whatever reason, no matter what he said.
He became a poster child for a hipster indie developer.
Exactly, yeah. And like here's the deal: like Fez, we all thought it looked cool, and it had that whole 2D, 3D scrolling thing, and we were all really excited to play it. And then we started fucking playing it, and the game was so much deeper than that. That there was something special there to it. Like he's a tortured artist. There's no two ways about it.
He succeeded with Fez. That is a successful game, no doubt.
You know, and I honestly like as much as I was like, I really hope that when he said he canceled Fez 2, I kind of hope he just disappears for like 5 years and then surfaces with like Fez 2 done. Like I really hope that it's not in fact canceled. He just like he buries himself in the work and does it, and we get to experience it eventually. But if he truly and did cancel it because of how he was treated online, I kind of support it. Like I really am kind of behind him on it. Like you know what, man, you don't fucking deserve that because you put yourself out there, and for whatever reason, people feel like they have ownership over the stuff that they consume now, that they can dictate to artists how stuff is delivered to them, in every single facet. Like, and it super bugs me that you can't.
But
like,
Dan,
if you want to create something, go create it, but you can't tell artists. Like Phil Fish is not on commission from all of us to create. Yeah.
Please, the Mass Effect 3 ending did not sufficiently fillet me.
No, but
and so I think you maybe are a little out of line.
We can complain. I can complain and judge it after the fact. Like we could sit there and play it and say, they missed the mark with this, they missed the mark with that. The difference is that then if I then direct my anger towards the people at BioWare and say, I hope you all get cancer and die for the way that Mass Effect 3 ended. Like I just want to let you know. No bad feelings, but I hope that you fucking die. Like that's the reaction.
Big fan.
Now.
Peace out.
Big fan, but Mass Effect 2, greatest game I ever played. Mass Effect 3, I hope you fucking die in a car accident. Like that is like the response these days, and like
that's right.
It's fucking killing me. It's starting to fucking kill me. Like it really is. Like it really is that bad. It really is. It really can be that bad. Like. There's things if you start to like dig in and look. Like yesterday, Joystick ran a story about like a gay transgender. It was just like I can't even remember what the story was about. But then like our friend Zav had to spend like the next 3 hours yelling at people in the comments because people started losing their fucking minds because there was one story that didn't relate to them. Everything was like, oh my God, you're shoving this politics down my throat. And they're like, it's one story. We post like 50 things a day.
You cisgendered asshole.
Yeah, like everything. Like I don't know. Like I don't know where the entitlement came from, but I'm fucking tired of it. Like I don't know what that means, but like.
I'm not even sure if it's entitlement so much as just a knee-jerk reaction. Like I really feel like there needs to be like a 30-second delay on posting or something.
Like the internet has given everybody a voice, but like maybe that's really not as great as we thought it was.
No, yeah, we'll have a voice, and guess what? Most of us are dicks.
I know,
Huge
but like
dicks.
I don't know. If you want to create something, create. If you want to be a critic, be a critic or whatever. But this is like this vitriolic nonsense, and like the thing, like the Doctor Who thing, like it could have been about anything. It just happened to be the conversation, like the thread that I was seeing. But like seriously, like please just think about it and tell your friends. Like we can be better than this. I swear to God, like I don't want to be like, but like if you don't have an opinion, you can just not add to that particular conversation. Just think about that for a second. Like, you spoiling somebody else's fun. Like, if somebody wants to, like, love My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, the fuck do you care? Seriously.
Right, exactly,
like, let them watch it. Let them dress up like furries. What the fuck do you care?
Yeah, I'm totally with you. And it's like, we get to comment on it. Like, they too can be poked fun at. Let's be clear.
Yes, absolutely.
But, like, the reaction you're having was the one I always had to the nerd fedora conversation. They're like, what's with all these nerds wearing fedoras? I'm like, who the fuck cares what they wear?
Yeah, it's a hat.
Yeah,
like,
it's
fucking
not
dude can't wear a hat now.
But you'll see people are like, no, they should die.
Yeah.
Or propeller head kind of, deal. No, I know what you're saying, Dan.
It's seriously, like, I thought about it later, and it is like the best thing I could think of was like Kevin when he talks about homebrewing, which I enjoy listening to him talk about because he's so passionate about it. But it would be just me just putting my hand in and just saying, I just want to reiterate real quickly, I don't care about any of this.
Yeah.
But go ahead and continue.
Yeah.
Like, that's just noise. Like,
I'll
it's
be
not
over here
adding.
yawning.
It's not adding to the conversation. It's just noise. So, I don't know. Can we be better? Can we try? Like, Add to the conversation. Don't add to the noise. How about that?
Yeah, noise to signal ratio.
Be perpetually geeky about whatever you want to be about.
Nah.
Not having an opinion, that's just not what you're geeky about, so keep out of it.
I'm gonna quote Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords. Be more constructive with your feedback.
Yeah.
This
So
was
there you
the
go.
end.
There's my like 40 minutes in. There's my rant. There's my rant for the week.
It's a good rant. I liked it.
Oh my god, I was going nuts. Thank God I was like out shopping with my wife at the time because I was curious about the doctor things. I was looking up on Twitter, and I started seeing people respond to it, and I just thought like, come on, like we can't even like. It can't even be excited for an hour before it's already passé and we have to be past it. Like,
Have you guys seen this new bit of slang pop up, like a kind of internet slang where like there's the word stop and then there's STAHP, which means stop.
Yeah.
That's what you want. It's like,
Yeah.
that word means something. Stop.
I just want to start grabbing people. No, shut up. No, you shut
Stop
up.
it.
You
Stop it.
clearly don't care about this, so shut up about it.
Yeah.
Let the people excited be excited about it.
I know I've said this on the podcast before, but the rule that I try to cling to, and it's hard sometimes, you know, like I find myself having stupid knee-jerk reactions, but this is the thing that keeps me in check. Ryan's first gaming corollary is do not begrudge another's fun.
Yeah.
But
That's actually
That's
yeah.
fair.
the flip side to that, which is equally valid, is do not begrudge another's apathy. But
Yeah.
you don't let it go further than apathy. That's like when I see a game that didn't do what I wanted it to do. I'm not it's just like I hope they all get cancer and die of flaming AIDS. I think that didn't turn out. That's too bad. Because nobody's trying to make a bad game. You just go, fuck, it didn't turn out. That's too bad. That's too bad. It's
But it happens all the
unfortunate.
time.
It's
Yeah.
unfortunate, and it's really hard to make good shit. So you don't get angry and wish death threats on people. You go, better luck next time. Maybe is maybe more
Honestly,
healthy.
at the end of the
attitude.
day, I try to think about, you know what, I appreciate that person offering that up for me to enjoy. I didn't end up enjoying that particular thing, but
Right.
I do appreciate the endeavor. And it's like, you know, granted we did, you know, call Mass Effect 3 the biggest disappointment ever, and I listed the 3 Star Wars movies as like the 3 biggest disappointments ever.
Right.
But you know, I would if Lucas made another Star Wars movie, I'd probably still go see it because I'm kind of
you will go see it.
But Lucas isn't making
Well, he
it.
won't make it. No,
Yeah,
he's
that's
out.
the thing.
He's
But, like,
fully out.
But
You don't want him to die in a fire.
yeah, like I don't know. I just don't know if maybe like, you know, like we put ourselves out there a bit. You know, we do the podcasting thing. We do put at least our information and stuff out and for the public to consume if they choose to, whether they choose to or not.
Right.
You know, so maybe we're a bit more understanding. But I don't know. I think I just have like more respect of artists that offer things up for us to consume. Like sometimes
Honestly,
I like it.
if a
sometimes
million
I
people
don't,
were
but
complaining at me on Twitter, I think that might just encourage me. So
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
cool with it. But
you need to start doing more of the Phil Fish thing. So I don't know. Let's all just try to be better. Heck, if
I'm
we
more
can do that, like-
worried. I'm more worried that Phil Fish is apparently moving to Texas for love, and I think that might break him. Like I
don't think he has any idea.
The cancellation of Fez 2, I am sure, is part of the development of Fez 2. But him moving to Texas, that's legitimately dangerous.
Is there a wider gulf in living style than Montreal to Texas?
No.
Oh my God.
He might move to the Horn of Africa, and it might be a little bit, but not like. Like if he's moving to Austin, but I don't think he is. He's moving to Fort Worth. I've been to Fort Worth. There are drive-through liquor stores there. Phil Fish, you need to watch out. I like
Well,
you,
let's
man.
not put those down. Wait. Why are we putting down the drive-through liquor stores?
I went through a drive-through liquor store in 1982 in Texas,
God,
and they put a paper cover over the margarita because you weren't.
that'll
Like that's how they serve it to you. They hand it through a window, and they're like, "Here's your margarita. Please don't drink it until you get home. We know you just want it in your hand."
Yeah. And here's a straw if you happen to have a Sprite in the car with you too.
By the way, I was 8 to answer your question.
Yeah, just
I
drive home.
have my lineage
Just a straight
is
whiskey you got.
my lineage is Irish by way of Texas. So
Nice.
I should be, by all rights, an incredibly violent person.
All right,
Your
so that's
liver's
my
already rock hard.
that's my rant.
That was really good.
You will not see me complaining about people enjoying Breaking Bad next week. I don't care about that show, so I just don't join that conversation. I let everybody else be excited about it because they're clearly excited about it, and that's okay. I think that's the important thing.
Dan, your fun makes me angry.
Yeah, that's fine. Just keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
The correct response is like, your fun makes me angry, so I kind of hope you get AIDS.
So, well, the correct response is, therefore, your anger is fun for me.
Yeah.
Your tears are my bidet.
That'll be my follow-up rant is what if you derive your fun from injecting yourself in the conversations that have nothing to do with you.
Right. Also, I would recommend Tweetbot for real. Mute function. It just kills the hashtag for 24 hours. Invaluable.
Yeah.
Invaluable for sporting events, elections, whatever.
If you really can't control yourself and just ignore those tweets, then you can block them for, set numbers of times and then come back to it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Talk about Dropcord. Is that possible?
The fuck is that?
Dropcord? The new Double Fine joint on iOS.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know about this.
It's like a rhythm-based...
I went away for a week and they...
Yeah. It's like a rhythm-based... I don't know.
Fuck those guys. I hope they get cancer.
It's sort of a... It falls
the
into
rhythm method? What?
Yeah. It falls into like the super hexagonish type of thing. It has a...
Right.
It's got a dyad thing going on with it. It's they made it originally for this thing called the Leap controller, which kind of looks like a Minority Report thing of like you can hold your hands above.
That's the Tiny Connect.
iOS version because they realized nobody owns a Leap.
Yeah, it's
so
true.
You can actually I take that back. It's iOS and Android. I believe it's on the Google Play Store now too.
You want to call?
No, I'm pretty sure we talked about it already. It's great. It's a lot of fun. It's a couple of bucks.
Shit. I had no idea.
Somebody can complain about that. Double Fine does it again. I fucking love Double Fine. I don't think there's a company in the video game world that is less less afraid of trying different things with every single game that they make.
Well, Amnesia Fortnite. Right?
Yeah.
Like that says it all. Also, I think they've gotten very good at and through some hard lessons like Brutal Legend.
Yep.
I think they've gotten very good at cornering the download space, which is where they should be.
Yeah.
Because that is the most creative space.
Yeah, like the failure of probably one of the best things that's ever happened to them because they went to the smaller games where these really goofy ideas can flourish.
No, they are a big indie. Much like I would say they as the Pixel Junk guys, Q Games.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how I put them. Is they are technically independent, but they're big indie. But it's still indie.
So in the past couple of years, from Double Fine, the company, the Halloween-based role-playing game where you play as kids who can turn into the creatures that they're dressed up in costume.
Oh yeah, what was that called? That was really good.
Costume Quest.
Costume Quest, yeah.
We had the game where you played a Russian nest. Could take over the powers of the dolls that you nested inside.
Stacking is awesome and stupid and awesome.
There was the tower defense game that took place in World War II where you piloted enormous mechs called trenches and guys while you built towers to defend from incoming TV-based monsters. I mean, like these are the kind of games that like this company had put out. Every game is totally different. They're working on Massive Chalice, which is like a XCOM-ish fantasy-based thing that takes places over lineage of generations.
That's Brad Muir by himself, I think. Am I wrong about that?
But here's the thing: is like.
Is it under Double Fine or is?
Yeah,
I thought it was like his own thing, but
no, he's the project lead, but it's a Double Fine joint.
Oh, okay.
So this
I'm in.
Yeah. So the point being that this is like, and granted, Tim Schafer was part of like one of my favorite game of all time, Monkey Island. So I've always had a soft spot for Double Fine, but I'm always consistently happy and surprised when they put out a new game, and I know it's not going to look anything like any of the other games they made. And here is this rhythm-based synesthesia feeling drop chord, which is totally unlike anything that they've
That's
done.
An awesome name. I got to give them that.
And it's on iOS and the Android App Store, so I would implore you to check it out because it is just a really good time. It's not as hard as Super Hexagon. There's a much better difficulty curve than that, which is also true for the other game that I was playing this week, also on iOS, called Pivot. I heard about this one from Robert Ashley, who tweeted about it and mentioned that and Super Hexagon in the same tweet, and I just said, well, I'm buying it, bought it, and started playing it. It does get super hard. Still not in the Super Hexagon. Super Hexagon, I think, might be one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I know I talk about that game a lot, but so this isn't that mind-bendingly masochistic, but it is sort of a mix of Super Hexagon and Impossible Road and some of these other like super hard games that have come out lately. Pivot with two V's, Pivvot. Both a lot of fun. I mean, honestly,
they should have mixed up Pivvvvvvot.
Yeah, VVVVV made by the guy who made Super Hexagon. So bring it all the way around. Yeah, so like it's honestly like I haven't been doing much this week besides getting mad at the internet. I've just been playing a lot of iOS games. A couple other really good ones that I really haven't played enough yet, and I honestly have no idea how to pronounce the other one, but it's like Rhythm Spiel or Spiel, and it's like a XCOM-ish type of real-time strategy game. Let's see what the fucking name it was called.
Well, XCOM is not real time.
No, RYMDKAPSEL.
Are you reading an eye chart?
Rhymed capsel.
Search engine optimization has done awful things to game names.
It's like web.
And
It's like web.
URLs.
That's like Web 4.0. Uh-oh, we got a visitor from my cat.
Yeah, I
There
saw
he is.
that.
Wow.
Demon cat. Begone, witch.
On YouTube.
Yeah, so like I don't have much
Okay,
else.
you said the word cat and my dog showed up. He's like, "What's up? What's going on? What's up?"
That's really what that's really all I've got to discuss. I don't know if anybody else has anything they want to inject besides iOS games or internet rants.
You know, I will say I got to I was at a cottage this past week, and
I was hacking it this week.
I had a very limited 3G signal there. It was there, but really just enough to get email and the occasional tweet. You know, I even noticed that Dan, you commented on that one photo of me sitting on the rock, and then I looked at it later. I'm like, why is this so hilariously low res? I don't know how that happened. I think it was because it occasionally dropped. Like all I had was like 1 or 2 bars of 3G all week that it would drop occasionally to edge. So I think it just went, oh, this is all you get. This is a 180 by 120 GIF or something. But I did get to introduce my dad to XCOM on iPad.
Ah.
Because I had it up there with me, and he was fascinated. I gotta say, I think this might be the bridge between, because like the thing, he was like, my dad has a very curious video game history because he liked the very, very beginning, the dawn of video games where they were sort of synonymous with pinball. Like, yeah. I'm talking Space Invaders, Defender, Pac-Man era.
Sure.
And then he got right out for about 25 years. I'm not kidding. Like, did not play a damn thing. And then he retired and got a PS3. And suddenly he was playing Black Ops 2. And he was like, look at this. They cracked me up. It's just like, he's not very good at it, but like he was interested, you know? So I said, like, I realized the barrier for a guy like my dad is the twitch factor, right? And he has literally no concept of a turn-based game versus an arcade game. Like, he just hasn't seen it, has no idea, doesn't know. So, but he is a programmer. So I said, like, I was explaining to him, this is a game like chess or a board game where you can take all the time you want and plan your move, and then you watch it unfold. And that was totally fascinating to him. And the fact that I could show him, like, a big game, so-called big game, like XCOM,
yeah.
on the iPad, you know. He also asked me about the Vita at one point because I was playing the latest and I think final release of Pixel Junk Monsters, which is Pixel Junk Monsters HD Ultimate. That game was hilarious because that game was HD to begin with.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
But it's like, I love Pixel Junk Monsters so much. It's such a awesome tower defense game, and it's so hard. Oh my god, that game's hard. You gotta boot your little guy around. So I was like, that's the one game I was basically screwing around with all week in between doing GoPro shit on cameras and kayaks and things like that.
Did you get anything good? We were actually talking about the GoPro today because I was remarking how much easier it would be. Like a couple of years ago, I held a camera during a roller coaster, and how like that would be so much fucking easier these days with like a GoPro and like a chest strap.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and you can get that. You wouldn't even need the chest strap. You just hold it in your knuckles like that, you know, on a base.
It was small enough that you could definitely crush it as you're scared.
It depends. Some of those coasters, like the G-Forces, I don't know if I trust it. I'd rather have it mounted to like my head or my chest or something to get a good ride.
I very, very nearly, I was going to talk about this even the last time I was on, but and I didn't do it yet, but it's in the mail. I very nearly bought a drone.
Oh, God.
Nice.
Because I feel like everyone's got a drone, and maybe I need one. And there's this particular drone that is actually made specifically for GoPro 3 that is called the DJI Phantom. And it is $700. That's a fucking cheap quadricopter. This thing has GPS positioning. It has all kinds of fancy features. I think I might buy one. Because you could do insane Hollywood crane shots with this thing.
Oh my god!
And I'm determined to get myself arrested with a flying camera.
Yeah, I'm totally behind this whole idea.
Yeah, and get it quick while it's still summertime, so you can get all the
I know. I wanted to bring it to the cottage because I'm like, this will be the greatest home movie footage ever. Like, it was essentially me and my sister's family and my parents going up to a cottage that they had booked for the week. So it was just nothing but, us creating our own little mini resort up in northern Ontario on Georgian Bay. And it was a really good time. And I definitely caught some stuff. Like, I actually did something I've never done before. I filled the GoPro. I filled it. I was shooting and it just said full. It flashed the word full. And I'm like, I've never seen that before.
Oh, look at that. So that's how it does it.
I had to offload it to my sister's laptop and then format the card, and now I got to go have lunch with her later in the week. Not that that's a bad thing, but like I actually have to meet up with her. I'm like, you can't upload this. It's 30 gigs of data.
Oh god!
Because I was taking time lapses, all the stuff I did at PAX, it's just shooting a bunch of stuff. I shot my dog at 120 frames a second, shaking, crap like that. So I just feel obligated to make these dumb little videos now, and I gotta say, I love the GoPro. One of the favorite things I've ever taken with that was a time lapse of us just playing Guns and what was it? Guns Cash Chaos. What's it called?
Cash and Guns.
Cash and Guns. That was awesome. That was so
I didn't
cool.
see that one. Was that part of the big
it was in the little video I did for PAX East.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can see like Tycho shows up at one point in that video, and it was just like, I love doing hilariously non-extreme things with a GoPro, like a bar, or people playing a role-playing game or like a board game. That I don't know why, but I love it. So there will be a video of my ridiculous cottage excursion at some point that I may or may not share. But it's all, like my whole philosophy, much like at PAX, is to try to shoot as many things as I can without being an obnoxious dick. I don't want to spend my entire time shooting.
Yeah.
So it's always this balance of like actually being present and talking to people.
Yeah.
But I do spend a lot of time setting things up. But that's the beautiful thing about the GoPro is that you plunk it somewhere and then it just sits there and people essentially forget about it. It's just there.
That's why it worked for me at PAX, because I fucking hate being on camera like nobody's business. But after 20 minutes, I would forget it was there.
Right. And the podcast sequence of that video is the most hilarious thing. Like, it's awesome. You see that fez getting passed around, the horse head goes up in the tree. It's fantastic. But I'm like, it's like, this is the least extreme thing ever made with a GoPro camera.
Hey, there was a horse head involved.
Yeah, well,
it was a little extreme.
It was not bolted to the tip of a surfboard, is my point.
Yeah.
And did you put the Benny Hill music in the background?
No, I've got 3 or 4. Like, the way I edit those things is I always pick a song first, and I just use that as the frame to edit, So I'm trying to figure out a appropriate song for this home. Like, it just looks like a high-budget home movie, But I was like, oh, if I could have just gotten a crane shot of that.
Yeah.
I think I need a drone.
That's what this needs.
That's right.
All right.
All I want to do is ride out on my electric bike to a nice point on the shore, and then deploy my drone and shoot some GoPro. Is that so weird?
No.
Now, we are talking non-militarized drone, right?
Well, no, it does not have a Gatling gun.
All right. Well,
yet.
Man, that would be the easiest thing.
It's got an expansion port on it, though.
Yeah,
yes.
It's got USB. You could plug in like a USB-mounted like Nerf Gatling gun, maybe, if you wanted to.
Yeah, obviously it has a Krypton-mounted countermeasures port for aircraft going over, but I mean that's not atypical.
That's beside the point.
Yeah, you're begging the question.
All right, Adam. Let's wrap up this rambling segment. What you got?
Oh,
what do you want to hit me with?
I've got a little Marvel Legendary.
Not to be confused with the DC card game that we played, or we talked about last show.
At least this one actually has a title to it, Legendary.
And this is also not the Diablo ripoff with Marvel people, right?
No, that's Marvel Heroes, the PC.
Ah.
This is Marvel Legendary, the card game.
Now, this one is, we played the DC card game first, and that one, the best equation I can make is that one is a bologna sandwich for lunch, and this one is like a 4-course meal with beer pairing for dinner.
That's a good metaphor.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love myself a bologna sandwich.
I just want to let you know real quick, Adam, I don't care about any of this, but go ahead and continue.
See, I bit my tongue like 4 times when you guys were talking about video games.
You should have. I was fucking waiting for you to say. We're talking about video games. If Adam's on his toes tonight,
he's too polite.
I know.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. I'm not.
Right. And here, this one's a visual thing that I have to have for everyone. This is the only kind of negative thing I have to say about the game. Here's the board it comes with.
What the hell?
That's a big board for a card game.
I can't even get it all in frame. All right. Yeah, so it comes with a massive board, which it's actually good once you get playing the game because it shows you where to put out all the different cards because there's many different facets of the card game. The one thing, like Dan mentioned before about playing the DC card game, is that it was weird that you guys played heroes and yet you got villain cards into your hand and then used them against everyone else. So that did seem to go against the theme a little bit. In this one, they don't worry about that, where you're just kind of a player and you're collecting heroes to fight and defeat villains and the mastermind at the thing. And as soon as you defeat a villain or a mastermind, they just go into like your victory point pile, which is separate from your deck.
Oh, okay.
As you go, so there's none of that worries about that. Hey, look,
you get a separate area that's just called like Arkham Asylum, and they just drop there.
Well, that's DC.
I know.
Versus straight.
By the way, I love that they've done Blackgate now. They're like, well, those are the non-insane criminals. Please keep up.
Excellent. But I'm not going to go into all the rules because it is very rules heavy. But it all does make sense. You have different hero cards that you can buy that help increase your hand. It's just like all the other deck building games.
How did it make you feel? Don't tell me about the rules. Tell me how you liked the game.
I like the game because the particular version that we played, it's got a whole bunch of different scheme cards to it that change the game every time you play it, it seems. I've only played it twice so far.
Like it randomizes it a little bit.
Yeah, it randomizes it. So you can have different schemes met with different villains, and it'll give you a different type of feel every time that you play it.
That's cool.
And we were immediately in the hole. I played it with my wife, Christina, who's a big gamer. And we were immediately in the hole, so it felt like the whole time we were fighting back, it felt pandemic-like. Now, I don't know if that's going to be different when we play with some of the other schemes. Maybe we just had a scheme that was bad for 2 players or good in a sense because it really was entertaining, and we were trying to figure out the best way to do it. And it's mostly cooperative because there's a case on the scheme cards that say the evil wins if this happens, and like if 12 villains are able to escape the city. And so we had to work together to make sure that didn't happen. But also at the same time, you had in the back of your head that, hey, I want to make sure I get more victory points than she has. So there was still the good going against the other one. But there's not really any way to directly affect the other player, except one lone card in the whole game. Like, let me make her discard a card after defeating a mastermind. You got to defeat the mastermind during like 4 different sessions. Whereas in the DC card game, there were a whole bunch of different masterminds you had to defeat over the course of the game. This one is one mastermind. You kind of got to fight them 4 different times. And it was really good. Like I said, I don't want to go into all the rules because there's way too many, but it was very good. And it was weird. I liked the DC game so much because it seemed like a game that we could whip out and play it really quick.
That's key.
Yeah,
This
really
is. This is more the opposite of that.
Yeah, this one's definitely more Dominion-like in the sense that you get to choose 5 different heroes for your game, and they had, I think it was something like 10 or 12 different heroes that you can choose from, and you're supposed to do it all random. And there's like about 10 different masterminds that you can pick from. And so, and each scheme card, you can pick a scheme card at random. There's 8 of them. I'm sure that there was already an expansion out that's like 300 in excess of 300.
Yeah, so there's like it requires a bit of an investment up front to figure out.
To figure out. Okay.
It takes a good like 20 minutes to set up, but once you're going and all, I definitely enjoyed it.
I still think my reasoning was sound when you said you were thinking about buying this. That like us overlapping on games that we owed is probably not the most efficient way. And you're more than happy to. Yeah, I'm more than happy to let you take the DC game for a while to play it as much as you want.
The only drawback was the other night I really want to play the DC game, and it was like, well, he's home and he's sick, so I don't want to just like come up there. Hey, Dan, give me that game.
I'll bring it on the next game night. And you can have it for a while. It's like I felt bad because he tweeted me or he texted me on Saturday. He's like, I think I'm gonna buy that DC game because I really like playing it. I was like, buy something else. Like, you could take that game from me. Like,
like, all right, twist my arm.
These games are expensive, man.
We need something else.
We don't both need the same game. Like, it's all like, I consider my board games at this point like community games for all of us anyway. Like, if anybody wants it, it's like, yeah, just take it. Like, I'm only gonna play it with you guys. So like, what the fuck do I care if you take it?
Well, the main thing is I just want to make sure that it didn't get sold at the next game day auction.
No, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
So,
I'm gonna invent a 3D printer that does nothing but print cardboard maps and figures, and it will be the greatest thing ever.
Nice.
Yeah, but then you'll get cancer if you stand over the thing. Did you see
Worth it.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Well, duh, yeah, but no, yeah. So
the gamers will build a statue of me like Gary Gygax.
Nice.
And they'll build it out of your cancer.
His episode of Futurama was on the other day.
Oh, did he weep a little?
No, when he teamed up with Al Gore, Uhura, and Stephen Hawking.
That's right. I forgot about that one.
And he kept rolling the dice before he would say, he's like, and I think we should all roll.
Didn't that one end? They were like in some white zone, like just
like they destroyed the universe. The universe like collapsed in on itself, but they were all still stuck. So to pass the time, they played Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, I mean,
it was a sort of Phantom Zone, Restaurant at the End of the Universe, reboot.
Yeah.
TARDIS.
But no, the Marvel Legendary game, I give it 2 thumbs up.
Sweet.
Someone's gonna sue us now. Sorry.
But out of how many thumbs?
Oh.
How many do you have?
2 2.25. I don't talk about the one on my back.
2 thumbs up. Full disclosure, I have 10 thumbs.
Nobody wants to talk about the superfluous 3rd thumb.
Yes.
All right. Does anybody want to take a break, listen to a song, come back, do some 5-hit combo? How's that sound?
Yeah, some music would be delightful.
Some didgeridoo music would be great, Kevin.
Actually, I picked. I already picked an applicable song for both our upcoming 5-hit combo topic, as well as today being the anniversary of the 1 year on Mars. Curiosity's been on Mars now for a single year.
Oh, so it's God Will Fuck You Up.
Sure. Either that or the Doubleclicks Imposter, the song about the Curiosity rover. Whichever one I have on hand.
All right.
Nice.
I can Dropbox God Will Fuck You Up if you want. It's a delightful song. Think Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Well, did we clear it? Because we're doing that now.
I'm just
we're highfalutin.
We are legit, therefore that is not legit.
I have to go get rid of some
you
of this
must
bourbon.
quit.
I'll be right back.
I would love it sometime if I tried to force quit an app and it would just say error to legit.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right.
I have to find. I used to have this. I used to have this great forum badge that it looked like a Windows click box and it had a hammer. And then like the click box said touch this, but it was like grayed out so you couldn't touch it.
There's a thing going on around Toronto, and some of them are still up, where people have added like a sort of vestigial appendage meta tag to stop signs. So it says "Stop Apartheid." You know, they just add a word, and then the best one I saw is like it's not that far from here. It just says "Stop Hammer Time."
See, that's the best one. I've seen like wearing fur, so it just says "Stop wearing fur."
Yeah, no, just stop. Hammer time.
That's a good one. I would.
A good one. Yeah. That's right up there with the sign that says "No parking, but you may smoke if you wish." That's a real sign. It's a perfectly legit font. Looks exactly right.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
All right. I should probably be vamping for time, but let's all just sit here quietly.
Uh-oh. Oh, you're all there by yourself.
Yeah.
So Mark was Facebooking me while we were doing this that Rich might be out this week.
Yeah, but then he followed up by saying, or Rich followed up by saying maybe this week isn't good after all.
Well, yeah, I would have been very surprised if he had.
But the good sign is that
it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Because I guess you're never really sure how people are gonna like react at first, and like you're a little worried about losing your friend and that kind of thing. Like, 'cause I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's good that he's
And
I
wouldn't even really blame him, because if he went away for an extended period, because
I assumed it was going to be months, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, at least 3 months.
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming at first, then you want to be there, and all this other.
Yeah.
If you're listening, our compatriot Rich had a kid not that long ago, and so we've lost him for game nights. But obviously,
yeah,
super excited about his new addition over over losing him for game night. So.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it's an awesome experience to have. But I mean, every kid, if you have a cool kid that's all laid back and all, and a wife that wants to kick you out of the house because you're a bigger nudge to her than the kid.
That's what came in for you. Yeah. Oh my God, would you just go away?
Yes, go away. You're causing me more stress than this new infant that can't do anything for itself.
You cannot come back for a couple of hours.
Yes. This baby shits itself and it gets along in life better than you. Go away.
It's an exciting day, Adam. Today is the Blu-ray release of Robin Hood, one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. So I know what I'm going to be doing later on tonight.
Excellent. Cool. Do you have the Blu-rays of Doctor Who or regular?
Regular. Oh. I have seasons 1, 2, up to the end of Tenet, and they didn't actually start shooting HD until the beginning of Smith. So if there is Blu-rays of the Tenet stuff, it's not really, and I don't believe they shot that stuff on film, so I don't even know if upconverting it would do much. Mm-hmm. I have not bought any of the Matt Smith stuff because I would eventually like to have it on Blu-ray, if anything, but it's also all available on like Netflix, so there's the argument against even needing to own it at all.
Well,
but
no, I don't know. After the Sunday announcement, it got me all jazzed up for it, so I went back and I'm starting to rewatch all the Matt Smith stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, whenever they're panning, it does that little catch thing as it pans across.
Yeah, I run into that shit all the time at my job.
Yeah, so call Netflix and tell them how to fucking fix that.
That's called drop frame. What you're experiencing.
Well, it's either drop frame or they shot it in 24 frames in film and somebody didn't.
No, 25. 25. They're still doing the PAL thing for certain reasons.
Oh, okay. So that's probably the problem is when they were converting it from 25 frames to either 29.9 or 30 frames a second, depending on if it was dropped.
It is bullshit that it happened at all. Like when Kevin first did the thing, like why is Netflix panicking? And like they're not doing anything. They're just getting what they get. Like they're not adding that.
Well, I mean, like there's ways you can blend frames to make it smooth, but like converting from PAL is a pain in the ass. So like if somebody's lazy about it, or you just you put a motion blur on it and call it a day. It can sometimes look like that when it pans from side to side because it's like it's a combination of if it's interlaced, if it's de-interlaced, if it's coming from PAL, if it's it's just something in the conversion. That's
When I went over to Europe, I was surprised that the world just didn't look like that over there.
And so you turn from side to side really
I just thought shit looked like PAL in Europe.
It kind of looks like film, but maybe with like an extra frame.
I expected 5 less frames per second and an additional 20% of vertical resolution, and I did not see that. It looks just like here.
How dare they?
All right. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I technically went into break, so I guess we're going to just not technically come out of break.
Just bust it. Hard bust out. Like mid-sentence. Just be like, so that's why we wanted to.
So then we launched the missiles.
So then the first guy says, "Look at your own monkey."
And then I says to him.
Okay, well, so that was the song "Imposter" from the Doubleclicks off their new album "Lasers and Feelings." There's a link to buy that very excellent album at some point during our Twitter feed on Friday's release, and also in the show notes, which you can find by going to our website at perpetualgeekmachine.net or .com, because we got both of them. Because we planned ahead.
So how you like me now?
Yeah, we didn't buy .org, but that's just it's whatever.
It's
okay.
We are not a real website until we have .museum, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, .tv is just off the list for you. We don't need to give Tuvalu any of our money.
Fuck Tuvalu. I want .museum.
That's really a thing. .museum.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just that nobody uses it, so it's ignored. Like
it's the best domain ever.
Why wouldn't they just have .org?
Oh, so many questions.
Oh,
yeah.
So few answers.
You know what? You're going to have to send an email to ICANN, and I'm sure they will respond in time. Yes. Tonight's 5-hit combo topic. We're gonna move the show along. Kevin's
From my
already...
basement, I stab at thee.
I can hear Kevin screaming during your rant.
Oh my God! Just get along with it.
Hey, he just wants to let hops ferment. Let him do it.
This is what he gets for having a beer club meeting on our podcast night.
Your little beer thing.
Hey, listen, I added a 1/4 gram of honey at Flame Out, and I want you guys to tell me what you think about that.
I don't understand what any of that means.
I don't think Ryan does either.
I was quoting Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's so many times you guys start talking about beers that you're drinking. Not you necessarily, Ryan, but like, we're talking about game night, and I sit there all the time thinking, it's like a Homer Simpson moment. I don't have any idea what they're talking about. Like,
I think of the Twin Peaks episode,
but the IPA, like, whatever, like is so much of a different. Like, what?
It's when Homer was watching Twin Peaks. That's the result. That's the reaction line where he goes, "It's beautiful. I have no idea what is going on."
All right, tonight's 5-hit combo topic, which it's Adam and Ryan are going to square off. To celebrate the year of curiosity on Mars, we are going to be running down the top 5 things that we expected the Mars rover to have found by now. Is that what we went with?
Yes, what we wanted it to find by now.
Because my show notes still say top 5 things, something to do with the Mars rover.
Yeah, one of mine doesn't quite fit that, but I'm shoehorning it.
None of this fits anything that we're doing anymore in this show, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, you are disqualified.
If you don't, if you're new to the show and you're still with us,
denied.
If you're new to Perpetual Geek Machine and you're somehow still with us, 5-hit combo is a friendly competition in which 2 players read back their top 5 lists of a given topic in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 style, while a third player judges that list based on his or her own personal tastes. That will be me. The players may change every week, but the game is perpetual. Gentlemen, who would like to go first? I'm not even going to flip a coin tonight.
I'll go first.
Oh, look at that. See, it worked.
Yeah, what the heck?
All right. I should say this is where the part where I go, Ryan, you're number 5.
What?
I don't play by your rules. All right, Adam.
That's fine.
What's your number 5?
Since you're judging, number 5 is people who shit on your happiness.
Are on Mars? You would hope they would find that?
At some point. Maybe they're fossilized now. All right, no.
Curiosity, more like Boreosity, am I right? Look at this thing over here.
Yeah, please.
I'm just picturing like the CNN footage, like the kind of low-res footage being piped into them from the rover, and then there's just like a crowd of people in the middle of like a iron oxide desert, and then the Chiron just says, "People have made Danzig mad."
Oh, if I could throw those people on Mars, I'd be a happy person indeed.
Oh, there you go. All right, no. Number 5, I wish that the Mars rover had been able to travel to that face that's on Mars, quote-unquote face. So that way, last year, the penis it drew on the ground as it trolled around Mars' surface could have been pointing at the mouth of the face on Mars.
Are you making fun of science?
No. You can go and Google it.
Science will fuck you, man. Science will fuck you hard.
Go right now to a web browser. Google Mars Curiosity penis on Mars.
I'm not going to do any of these things that you say.
That's the last thing I want the NSA thinking I'm searching for.
Oh, penis on Mars?
I have safe search on, I'll have you know.
Well, click that fucker off.
No! That sounds horrible.
Clearly a giant penis on Mars now.
Google Mars NSA felching. You'll see what I'm talking about. Enough said.
All right. Well, that's still my number 5. I wish that they had drawn the penis on Mars closer to the quote-unquote face. That's the only one I really shoehorned in there.
Ryan, you're number 5.
I don't think I'm going to win this one. You could say
I need to take a knee. I need to take a knee here.
I think your chances might be better than you think, Adam.
All right, so my number 5 was I would love it if they had found the Beagle 2 crash site. Just so they could take a huge jump on the Brits.
Oh, wow.
Just say, look.
Meters to feet, fucker.
We found your fucked up probe. We're going to analyze it now. special relationship my ass.
Oh, that's a good answer. Oh, that's a solid answer.
Because that was like, but seriously though, that was a really low moment. That was when the Beagle 2 crashed. They were like, yeah, like nobody knew about it. The news story was that the Brits launched it 2 years ago, and it just fucked up. Nobody knows it augured in somewhere.
Yeah.
And that was it. And it's like if they could have just found it with its sad little flag sticking out of it.
That one was the one
comically sticking out the top.
It would have at least provided some closure for those poor engineers.
That was the one that did the conversion wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yes. And again, the United States' fault. It's the United States and Ghana, the last two countries on Earth on the imperial system. They won't go because freedom or Abe Lincoln or something.
Even in a very small way, you've managed to lay the Beagle disaster at Ghana's feet.
This is my privilege as a Commonwealth nation, you know. I was colonized by the Brits, so therefore I get to throw such accusations.
All right. Long live the Queen. Adam, you're number 4.
Ghana, represent.
All right, let's see what I have here for number 4. I wish that they had found a pissed-off Ares complaining that the Olympians got screwed with the naming of all these fucking planets, and he just smashed Curiosity.
Also, why is my symbol on all the washrooms for men?
What?
Yeah, the circle with the arrow, that's Mars.
Oh.
Which is Ares.
No, but Aries, they're different. They're just not. I know, and I understand.
Yeah, they're Roman versus Greek.
Yeah, so Aries was pissed off.
All right, Ryan, you're number 4.
My number 4 is Nazis.
No.
They're on the moon. That was a different.
No. But that's I know that. Please. I just know that if they're not on the moon, they're on Mars, because anything beyond that is stretching the bounds of incredulity. There's no way they made it past Mars. So if you don't look on Mercury or the moon or Mars, then there are no more Nazis.
Hey, what else are going to be? That's ridiculous. That's Adam. That's ridiculous. What the fuck are you talking about? Come on.
That's where the female Nazis went.
I will not even deign to answer that.
Yeah, we're trying to have a serious discussion here.
I'm sorry.
Please sack up and learn your planet atmospheres.
That's right. That one was.
Mars is clearly leaning towards
much more viable than Venus.
The chlorine-based atmosphere of Venus is completely inappropriate.
They got chlorine up there.
It's something
set
like
up
that.
A couple nice pools.
It's super bad. I know it's bad.
Super bad.
Super bad. It's a perfect climate for the Nazis.
It's super bad.
It's
not
Adam,
super Aryan. It's super bad.
You're number 3.
Best
Nazis
combo ever.
Did I say Nazis?
You did. It's Adam's turn now.
All right.
My number 3 is a hypochondriac alien who continually sprays down Curiosity with Purell while repeating, "I told those fuckers that planet was nasty. They ain't getting me."
Oh man.
A la War of the Worlds.
See,
that wasn't clear.
I'm thinking more like a Silence of the Lambs. The rover puts the lotion on its shell, or it gets the hose.
That'd be good too. I was trying to work out a whole Bubble Boy thing, but I couldn't make it all connect.
But you still did.
You still somehow did.
You still persevered.
Woohoo!
All right, Ryan, you're number 3.
Martian Manhunter, because he's got to be up there. And if that was the one that we found, you know, Martian Manhunter is the one real superhero.
Let me guess, is that a game?
No, he's a comic book dude, man.
He's the head of the Justice League.
Yeah, he's kind of a legit dude. And he is a green Martian. I want to be clear. He's a green Martian. There's different Martians. He's green. No judgment, no racism implied.
Don't worry, I got some Martians higher up on mine.
But he is a green Martian.
But that's not like that Jean guy?
Yeah. It's like his name is like Jean with an apostrophe
okay. That
in the
guy's
middle.
cool.
Yeah.
I like him.
Martian Manhunter. He has to be there. But if that was the one we found, you're just like, that's the one that's real. No Superman, no Batman, no Spider-Man, no Wonder Woman. Martian Manhunter. Like one step below Moon Knight.
That fucker Moon Knight.
I love that you didn't know Martian Manhunter, but you know the John's like name of him.
That's his name. That's his name.
No, I was more talking about Adam.
Sorry, alter ego.
Yeah, that's who he is on Justice League cartoons on Netflix, and my son's watching all the time.
That's why I was gonna say okay, yeah, because
Yeah,
I mean,
so.
yeah, he usually goes by.
I
Please.
don't have a thing about French names.
This is common knowledge.
Although Rene is sexy.
He didn't have an accent aigu.
He's gonna have a hard time with that French name at all.
It's an apostrophe. It's not a circumflex in there. It's just Martian Manhunter. John.
Bread and a wedge of brie.
I think he has a clothing line. I do think that. I'm pretty sure I saw that in New York.
But he doesn't need clothes. He's
John.
It's for us, by us.
It's John. Yeah. Oh.
John.
Yeah.
Doo-doo.
For Martians, by Martians.
All right. We're
All right,
totally
Adam.
off the rails.
Number two.
Number two is 3 words. 3 boobed hookers.
Oh, get your ass to Mars.
Yeah, man.
That's a good point.
That's all we need.
Total Recall, in case you're too young. I don't know what the... did the new one have the 3-breasted lady
Specifically, it did. And because the original Total Recall... I remember seeing a message board thread once that was comprised, I'm not kidding, entirely of men, and I use men in quotes, who had their first sexual experience by witnessing a triple-breasted whore from Mars.
Total Recall.
Somebody's got to see that for the first time and have a tingly feeling, and just be like, wow, you were really unlucky.
It just exploded everywhere.
I'm going to say this real quick before we move on, that beginning a nerd retort with specifically might be the best thing ever.
Thanks.
You need to take that directly to the internet.
Pedagogically.
All right. Ada or Ryan, you're number 2.
My number 2 is the thing I really wish they had found was the Easter Island head, a.k.a. the Zach McCracken head maze. Everything that happened in Zach McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders for the Commodore 64 on Mars was pretty brilliant. There was I believe a sort of winged or maybe winged Winnebago that took them there, and they noticed
Spaceballs.
No, I am not. I'm thinking Zach McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders, and I am totally playing to the judge in this one because this is classic LucasArts canon.
Predates Spaceballs, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, by a long shot. There was an Easter Island head that turned into a hedge maze when you got there.
Yeah, that is true.
And it was a big part of the game.
Games. Adventure games make total sense at all times.
From the traditional Scottish McCracken family.
There can be only one.
All right, Adam, bring it home. You're number 1.
All right,
your number 1 thing that you wished Curiosity had found in the past year.
A nice supply of Illudium Q36 explosive space modulator. It could that's what Marvin the Martian had that he was going to try and blow up the Earth with.
Oh, that's a good pull. That's a good pull.
That is nice.
And then Curiosity could take it and put it into its secret rocket return and shoot it back to the head of NASA, so that way they could basically hold the world hostage so NASA couldn't get properly funded.
I forgot about Marvin. That is a very good pull. He wanted to blow up Earth because it obscured his view of Venus, and that's pretty great.
Thank you.
Also, he was Roman, but not a legionnaire, just
one of the regulars.
This is the second time I've used him in a 5-hit combo.
He's amazing.
Because I remember I had to look up the spelling of Illudium Q36.
That's a good pull.
Not the Q36 part, the Illudium part.
Ryan, bring it home.
My number 1 is actually just a very slightly serious answer, uncharacteristically.
He's going to bring us all down.
No, I won't. But I had originally written down, I hope they find NASA's missing funds.
Yeah.
and then I scraped it out and I just wrote Martians, because that is what it would take. It would take CNN and massive coverage to reignite our space program, and at that point, this is actually more important to me than finding actual fucking aliens.
Yeah.
I'm like, if they found Martians, they found Jimmy Hoffa. I don't care what they find up there. I just want money and coverage.
Yeah.
Like that is my number 1. Yeah, like send someone there for God's sakes. Like
even like a Bigfoot image would be good enough.
And I'm all about the robots. I think the robots are great. I don't think they're mutually exclusive to people, but I was like, NASA needs. I honestly want them to find something that is so shocking that it has to fund a space program further. That's my number one. So Martians.
All right.
That would do it. Martians who killed OJ or something, like
Doesn't
whatever.
matter.
It
OJ's
takes.
dead? Whoa.
You just really need to be able to use the headline "Life on Mars" and not have it mean anything weird. It just literally means life has been found on Mars.
Not life on Mars. Death on Mars. Murder on Mars. Whatever is a salacious detail that the news workers will pick up. Yeah.
However, Nancy Grace is going to talk about it.
Improper fund distribution on Mars. Rodeo incest on Mars. Take your pick.
All right. I have an answer.
Oh, that's fantastic. We didn't have to vamp at all.
Yeah. First thing is, I don't think Kevin's ever going to leave us alone on a podcast again.
What? Because we're going on like 2 hours?
But that's not an answer. That's a theory.
It is a theory. We'll see how that's borne out. But
I heard the jury's out on the science thing, so I want to see how this turns out.
Okay, for the number 5, Adam. This is how I typed it. Adam wished it had traveled to the face of Mars, drawing a penis along the way. And Ryan rendered my second favorite answer of this entire thing, which was to find the Beagle 2 crash site.
I wasted penis to the face?
I want to find the Beagle 2 crash site, and I want the American probe to teabag the British probe as it's crashed there.
Here's what really made me smile about this when he said the Beagle 2 crash site, because the Curiosity Twitter feed like tweets in the first person a lot of times, like from the perspective of the Curiosity rover, and I just thought that would be the funniest thing ever if it had tweeted a picture of the Beagle 2 crash site, like hashtag found it. Like,
nice. And a little selfie with him like in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys see what Curiosity did today?
No, I did not.
It sang happy birthday to itself.
Really?
Using like motors on board. And there was actually a law type discussion as to whether or not they broke copyright law.
Really? That was the thing. The Mars Curiosity rover sang happy birthday to itself, and that was our takeaway was, did it violate copyright law? This is why we're never going to have a space program again.
No. Yeah. Well, because of all the fines.
Yeah. I feel like the probe should have sent back, you invented that, right?
Yeah. You know what? Go fuck yourself. How about that? Yeah. I'm doing it from Mars. Let's just say copyright law does not extend to Mars for now. Okay, so
hey, you're the Disney fan.
I know. Look, hey, they're not perfect.
No, they're not.
Not by any stretch, but it's fine.
All right, what are we on?
Yeah, Ryan took number 5 with the Beagle 2 crash site. For number 4, Adam said pissed off. Eris pissed about the planet names and destroys the Curiosity with a heavy fist. And Ryan wished we would have found Nazis. Nazis is always a good answer, especially on Mars. And the reasoning is sound that really they couldn't have got any further out than Mars. So if we're not going to find them there, then
And they do need a sequel to Iron Eagle, so.
Iron Sky.
Iron Sky.
Iron Eagle was. And realistically, they could maybe go as far as Io, but that is it. That is beyond that.
They never make it that far. They can't get past asteroid field.
Hey, I think you're V2 rockets.
I think you're giving a little too much credit to the Luftwaffe. They were not that good. Not to Io. I mean Mars. I mean, realistically, but.
I don't know. You telling me
Ganymede
got moved to Io?
Maybe Ganymede.
For number 3, Adam said a hypochondriac alien who constantly sprays Curiosity and yells things like "unclean" at us. And Ryan wanted to find the Martian Manhunter, or as Adam knows him, John Johns.
That could be the same guy, both answers.
Honestly, probably could be the same guy. I went with the hypochondriac alien on this one because that's just a really funny image to me of him scrubbing all of the dust off the solar panels and the lasers and drills and whatnot.
He's just going, no,
don't kill me like you killed the invasion force.
Number 2, Adam wanted to find 3 boobed hookers a la Total Recall.
Yes, Adam does want to find 3 boobed hookers.
And Ryan wanted to hope that we'd find an Easter Island head that then turned into a Zach McCracken maze. Clearly, this is the Easter Island head Zach McCracken maze because this is me we're talking about, and Adam knows exactly who he's playing to. Of making a LucasArts reference.
Right.
Which technically gives Ryan the win, but we're going to go into number one anyway because Adam did give my favorite answer of the day. Of finding a nice supply of Iridium Q36 explosive space modulators a la Marvin the Martian, which was an excellent pull.
That is an excellent pull. I gotta give it really give it up for that one.
And Ryan went with the honest answer of Martians, and I always appreciate the honest number one because I do that often, where I make 5 dumb jokes and then have an honest answer for the last one.
But seriously, this is what we need here.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, like all kidding aside, now there's an actual thing. But yeah, the Marvin the Martian reference is perfectly placed, and that would have been quite awesome.
What are you talking about, Earthling?
It's not bad.
He had. Why did he have like a Legionnaire's like Roman?
Because he was Roman.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's like that brush was like a war tactic, right? Like you knew that the guy who had the mohawk he commanded 100 men, and then the guy who had the horizontal one commanded 1,000 men.
Really?
And then yeah, that's what those were.
Wow. I would think the horizontal one would be bad in the wind because it would be always snapping your head back.
Well,
I don't think it's up high enough to be up. It's not a.
You talk to Romans about that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Let's assume that the Romans had the warfare thing figured out. Like, we could take that on.
They did do a good job for many centuries.
And if somebody's going to fight the Nazis on Mars, it's going to be Marvin the Martian in his Legionnaire's helmet. I mean, you got to be able to tell them apart.
I seriously almost got into a fight over this once.
The Marvin the Martian wearing a
Yeah, and not because I was trying to pick a fight, but because I was in Ottawa, and the hockey team in Ottawa that they're extremely proud of is the Senators, and I pointed out to a guy at a bar that is clearly not a senator. Senators wore purple sashes and no helmets. That is a fucking Legionnaire. What is with your logo? And he almost beat the shit out of me.
Wow. Truth be told, the Ottawa Legionnaires is pretty cool too.
I told him
that. Your team is named after a disease from Philadelphia.
They're not senators. They don't wear headgear. Fuck.
Well,
they vote on ineffective laws. What?
Yeah. That's a different kind of senator. That's our kind of senator.
I don't know why they get like uppity about that. I'm like, it's just an anachronism. I don't know what you like.
At least you drilled right to the bottom of this guy's soul and like just needled him on his hockey team in Canada of all places. Yeah, you probably should have expected this reaction.
I probably should have, but I still am like just you guys got to get a grip.
Were there actual fisticuffs thrown, or were you?
I'm telling you, if you were in Ottawa and you are wearing a Leafs jersey on a game night, you will get thrashed. Somebody will just randomly attack you, like Final Fantasy VII. You will have a random encounter, like new D&D rules. That is what will happen.
Well,
until you get home.
Well, you shouldn't wear that there. You should just
No, you should just avoid the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Apparently, you should not also mention the government makeup of ancient Rome as it relates to hockey teams in Canada.
Well, these idiots! I keep telling them, Leafs is not the plural of leaf. Did they listen?
Did they listen?
I must have had to ask, but I sussed it all out on my own.
It's like saying fishes. No, fish. It's fish. I'm pretty sure it's fish. That's my favorite troll for Toronto Maple Leafs fans. They're like, Leafs. I'm like, I think it's leaves. Can you look that up? But that is when I'm really actually asking for it.
Yeah, then you really are just looking for trouble.
It's Leafs! Boom!
I understand that you guys are all really into hockey, but I'd like to talk to you all about grammar for a few minutes, if I could.
Yeah, like, why is that a plural that's, acceptable to you? Just, expound upon that for a moment. If you would. Fucking Leafs!
In between beers, we should really talk about this as you
That's right.
watch this hockey game.
I want to expand this.
All right, I'm going to call it.
Martian Manhunter, you should have got more love. I'm just saying.
Martian Manhunter, Marvin the Martian.
You got almost all the love. Come on.
Nazis.
I know.
I need a modicum of love.
I'm saying Marvin the Martian gets way more love than Martian Manhunter because I'm annoyed that I didn't think about that. Earthling?
Yeah, Marvin the Martian.
You got me there.
Yeah.
Even though I lost, it's good that I pissed off my opponent. Sweet.
Nazis.
It's always gay.
The Nazis will get Marvin.
That was episode 102. Seriously, think about that.
102?
Yeah, and they're like an hour to an hour and a half a piece. That is dumb.
Are we going to end every episode now with what are we doing with our lives?
No, we're doing awesomeness. Come on, we just hung out and chatted for...
I know, it's great. This is why we do it. This is why we do it. But
this is one of the highlights of my week. So yes, I do ask what I'm doing with my life, but outside of this podcast.
Yeah. The answer is kind of fun stuff, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Tons of fun stuff.
Hey, when this game comes out, or this podcast comes out on Friday, Papers, Please is going to be available on Steam. You should buy that game.
Yes.
I just want to put that out there. You can pre-order it now for like $10, but either way, you should play that game. I think that's it. That's all I got. Anybody else?
Nowhere. Papers, Please comes in and gets a plug at the end.
Because I just thought of it. Oh wait, no, I actually do have a thing. So we had a voicemail last week.
We did.
And we couldn't figure out the name that the guy said at the beginning.
Was it left by a unicorn?
We felt really bad about it, but apparently he forgot to say his name at the beginning. But he did. We asked him to contact us, and it was David Miller who called and left us a voicemail. So we do love hearing that stuff. So
really? That's the former mayor of Toronto.
That sounds like a made-up name to me.
No, for real.
He just looked in the headlines. And
before we had Boss Hogg for a mayor, it was David Miller.
Is Boss Hogg the one that did crack?
Yeah, that's him.
That's him.
He's awesome. I love him.
No, he's not. He's really not.
Well, it's fun we love him as like Americans watching from the outside. Is like your political party is just as fucked as ours.
I love the representation of that because people are like, way to go, Canada! You've grown up. You've now got your own proper size scandal.
Yeah, it only took how many hundreds of years?
You got a crackhead, fat ass mayor. Well done.
And how does that work? How are you crackhead and fat?
I don't know.
I contemplated going
no one knows.
His weight.
That is an excellent question. Money, I guess. You could afford your crack and your food. I guess really a lot of people have to choose between one or the other.
Well, but I thought you don't want food anymore after you start.
I don't really know the ins and outs of smoking crack. You know what?
Next week, voicemail, please call us.
If I could
different podcast.
If I could get back to the point of leaving us funny voicemails. I don't know how we got on crack smoking, but
thank you, David Miller.
You can call us. It's 856-282-0042, and you can do that from a phone or from Skype or whatever the fuck you want to do it from. If you leave us a voicemail, we will play it. So you feel free to really say whatever you want, and there's very little chance that we'll edit it.
Curiosity, tweet at us. We want to hear from you.
That'd be cool too. We'll be back next week with like 3 or 4 random people talking about whatever we want to talk about, I guess. So.
All you know is we will be back.
We will be back next week because we're here.
Yeah, Arnold.
Almost every week.
We will be back like rickets.
What?
They're hard to get rid of.
Really? I thought you just eat some vitamin C.
Nah, isn't it like a shingles type thing? I think it's really bad.
I think you're thinking of chlamydia.
Oh, I am thinking of chlamydia. Fuck.
All right.
Oh wait, it's a syphilis. I
know all about that one. Wait.
I must go.
Right. That's it. That's it.
I need antibiotics.
Cut. Bye.
Count out.
Count out?
Yeah, let's count out. That's it. We're done. We're all done.
That was fantastic.
No, it was great, but we're done.
Yeah.
Ready? And in 5, 4,
3,
2, 1.
13th Doctor.
That's me. Hi. When we counted in, we were in sync the last 3 numbers. I think that's going to throw Kevin totally off.
It's the Google. This is how it always is.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Well, there you go. There's your unstructured show.
Hey, did you guys see the trailer for the Jobs movie?
Yeah.
I didn't see a trailer. I saw a poster where I couldn't figure out who.
You did double take. Right, yeah. So go watch the trailer. It's actually pretty good. It looks totally hagiographic, like it's pretty worshipful of Steve Jobs, but like and like they wouldn't use the song they used in the trailer. I'm like, come on, he would use Dylan. He would use Pre-Electric Dylan. Don't be stupid. But it's pretty good, I gotta say.
You gonna go see it?
Yeah, I will. I mean, he is what he is, and from what I saw in the trailer, like they're direct quotes, stuff like, "Well, were you even smarter when this was stolen from you?" He's like, "It was never stolen from me," or he's like, "I never lost it; it was stolen from me." And that dude looks exactly like him. Like it's just uncanny.
It really is kind of crazy how much he does look like him. But I just wonder if they put too much on that. Like, hey, we found the guy that looks like Jobs, not necessarily a guy like the Saving Mr. Banks trailer, like where Tom Hanks is playing Disney. Like, he doesn't really look like Disney, but I bet you he does like a better job of evoking the feeling of
the character of Disney.
I mean? Yeah, as opposed to just finding a guy that looks like Walt Disney.
That's Ashton Kutcher, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't believe he can act at all.
No, he looks exactly like him, like in multiple ways. Like he even has like there's a shot of him as a bearded Jobs looking at himself in the back of an iPhone, and you're just like, man, that's him.
It really does look like him. I just hope they don't hitch the whole movie on. Hey, look how much it looks like the guy.
Yeah.
Well, I just hope they don't hitch the whole thing on. This guy was a genius none of us understood, because he definitely had weaknesses. Like it's funny because I've obviously been a pretty big Apple fan my whole life, but I get a lot of people who ask me about the Steve Jobs thing, and I always tell them what I told you guys, which is, I'm okay with the artistic output of assholes. I can hold the idea that he was an asshole and that he made good stuff at the same time. I like he was probably awful to work for.
Yeah, there's assholes and then there's scumbags. I can go for assholes, but not scumbags.
Yeah, there's a distinction. I get what you're going for there.
I can see that.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But worth looking at.
Yeah, there's definitely a distinction. Like he's not. Yeah. I've seen it. It definitely looks decent. The second trailer for that movie, Gravity, looks ridiculous too.
Oh my God!
I don't know how they're going to keep
that trailer is. That trailer is.
That looks
terrifying.
Like a 10-minute short. Like, yeah, I just don't know how they make a 90-minute movie out of it.
I'm gonna.
When's that coming out?
There you go.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Go. Check it out.
Oh, what's that? All right, hold on.
All right, I'm ending the broadcast.